Kushagra Kapoor. I will introduce you with the Kushagra Kapoor. Kushagra Kapoor is an alumni of 2007-11 batch of Department of Civil Engineering. After BTech, he has joined various consultancies. He has also pursued his master's in building engineering from Politecnico di Milano, Italy. Currently, he is a co-founder of Sustainable Building Environment Group. So he is the best example of being an entrepreneur, how it is like, what the tips required, what kind of risk management we need to take for being an entrepreneur. Because today, the central government, the state government, everyone is being looking forward for the persons who are able to create the jobs. So I welcome Kushagra Kapoor for this in session. Kushagra, over to you.
Yeah. Sir,
Welcome.
thank you for the opportunity. I am an old student of our institute, JP University, but as like I'm not as new as Harshit was. I'm really old, like 10 years from now. Before I graduated in 2011, I worked in various consultancies. Then I did my masters. I was doing my PhD when COVID hit, and I had to return back to India. And that is when an idea hit me, and I started the consultancy that I'm presently running now. We are like 20 people. All of us are experts in our different fields, and I will introduce the consultancy more later. But I will not share my journey because I think my journey is not of that much value. I mean, everybody has their own path, and I think everybody should make their own path as well. Uh, what I can do is I can share with you some salient features that you need to inherently cultivate in yourself to be an entrepreneur. And if you do that, I mean, it is important to know why you should be an entrepreneur in this world, in today's world, since you are a technical graduate. So basically, I'll be making a case for entrepreneurship. Uh, so what is an entrepreneur? From an article by Steve Blank, I wrote, I studied that an entrepreneur is somebody who takes an uncharted course, takes entrepreneurial risks, and makes money only if he succeeds. So the basic difference between a usual business and an entrepreneur is that an entrepreneur starts making money after a while, after he's invested heavily, emotionally, and financially into his passion. And there are four kinds of entrepreneurs, like four kinds of different businesses, let's say. One is a small business, which basically is is a basic business without a vision. Then comes a scalable startup which has a vision, and then comes a large company which then eventually after a while it transforms itself with a new product or a new process, and then this entrepreneurial journey of the company keeps going on. Why am I telling you this? I mean, I'm not trying to start a lesson before your official start of classes. It's just that these are basic information that you need to know. Why you should be an entrepreneur comes after, but first you should know what entrepreneurship is. Why you should be an entrepreneur? According to the literacy and educational data of India, we are a country of 130 crore people. Out of that, 75% of us are literates, which is a very good average. But when you start comparing the education level and the literacy level, when you start talking about the education level, this keeps on going down. As you can see from this data, this is, by the way, from a government website, so it's not unusual data or something. But when you start looking at this, these numbers are very informative, and I mean, they're very disappointing, because the literacy is 75%. But then when you start talking about education, below primary is 24%, primary is 24% again, and middle is 16%, with graduates around 10% and technical graduates around 0.9%. Now, why am I throwing this data onto you? The problem is that I want to tell you that if you become technical graduates after 4 years, you are kind of special people. And if you're special people, because you're less than 1% of the population of India, you're technical graduates, automatically the responsibility of generating jobs comes on to you. So it's not, I mean, entrepreneurship in this economy is not about one or two or three exceptional people coming out and starting a business. It is about everybody giving in their input. Hello, sir, is there a problem?
No,
Okay.
your PPT is not being.
Yeah, for now, because
Yes, now,
now
yes,
it's fine. Okay.
yeah.
So what I was saying is that entrepreneurship in this economy, you see, I mean, I expect most of you won't be political at the moment because you're too young to understand these things. But every election season, we have a question that the journalists ask the politicians about how a political party would deal with unemployment and how they would, generate employment or, come up with new ways to, give jobs to the people. And the reality is that the politicians don't know. They don't have an answer. And everybody keeps on saying that, yes, we will be generating 1 crore jobs or 2 crore jobs or 3 crore jobs. The reality is that they can say that because they won't be generating any jobs. It is you who will be generating jobs in this economy. It is the people, that the 1% technical graduates that are expected to generate jobs. Now, of course, after graduating, you're not expected to just, get into entrepreneurship boots and, start a company. Of course, you will go through a set of jobs. You will learn, you will have experience, and then you will start a company. But that mindset of an entrepreneur has to come from day one. And that is why, before the official start of your classes, I am giving you this presentation. I hope it is before the start of your classes. But anyway, I mean, it's too early. So earlier, everybody is talking to you about entrepreneurship. And it is because you are the need of the hour. In the next 5 years, you have to start a company and you have to generate jobs. Uh, the the bottom line is that you have to have that mindset to not be a job seeker, but to be a job creator, which is what, the Harshit said before me. I mean, we did not gang up on the presentation and, do it together, but, it's just, I mean, it's a true answer to a question. How do you create jobs? Well, you start entrepreneurship mindset in the people, and then they create jobs for you. The government is not going to do it. You are going to do it. Uh, and I mean, this is exactly. So the next thing is, I mean, how do you create jobs and what kind of a mindset do you need? Well, the economy has changed for the better. And in this new economy, education is not supposed to be, I mean, this economy is not supposed to be a certificate based economy, but a skill based economy. So from day one, you have to develop relevant skills, which the Harshit was saying before me. You have to be developing relevant skills so as to face the job market in the future. You need to know multiple skills. It's not, I mean, you cannot show a certificate for a job and, expect to land the job anymore. I can give you examples. I mean, there are people who have O-level certificates in web development and, artificial intelligence and stuff and whatnot. But if I ask them what a web page is, or can you design a web page for me in half an hour, they won't be able to do that. And it does not take a certificate to learn that skill. I mean, I designed my website myself 2 years back, and I did not, go for a course before. A lot of times, my old students or, my old co-workers, they say that, yeah, what certificate do I need to, be recruited by you? And I say, you don't need a certificate, you need the skill. And that is the most important thing. If you have the skill, I don't care about your degree or your certificate. I will hire you right away. And this is the mindset that Harshit was talking about before, before this presentation. If you remember, he said that yes, you need to think like the guy who's going to recruit you. Well, the guy who's going to recruit you is thinking that I have this job in my mind, and can this guy do it or not? So he doesn't care about the certificate. What he cares about is that is the job being getting done by you or not. If you're an entrepreneur, I mean, of course, uh, it's not like, it's an easy job. It is a difficult job. Cultivating that mindset and then, achieving that goal that you had of building a company or building a business, and then running that business, that is a more difficult thing in itself. I mean, you encounter multiple problems every step of the way. The world is ready to hurl you down with stones, but it takes real courage and it takes real passion to be an entrepreneur. What are the basic problems that you have? I think one of the main problems today is that the society has a mindset in which uh, an employee or maybe a job seeker is respected more than an entrepreneur. A businessman who is generating a job or who is generating 20 jobs is less respected than a guy who works for a company, for somebody. And this is because entrepreneurship is risky business. You're taking risks. You don't know about the future. An employee also does not know about the future, but his near future is kind of secure. He does not know about his, far off future, but his near future is secure. And this is what the society cares about. But one more side of this coin is that we are going to be the society uh, in the next 10 years. I mean, you are going to be the society in the next 10 years. So in the next 10 years, I want you to remember uh, that it takes real courage to start a business. And I mean, even if you're a businessman or if you're an employee, it does not matter. Everybody deserves same amount of respect for the job they're doing. And this needs to change for us to have an entrepreneurial economy in some way or the other. Why is it a difficult job? Well, sometimes, I mean, I get, condescending tones from my employees that, you're the boss. Your life is kind of easy, but in reality, your life is not easy. Uh, and that is why most of us don't choose for this position. But you have to understand that once you start a business, you don't own the business owns you. You do whatever the business requires from you. Uh, and you do everything and anything that the business requires from you. Uh, we were talking about the relevant skill set just, like 5 minutes ago. I was talking to you about the relevant skill set. Well, the industries and the economies are changing very rapidly, and they are changing rapidly so that uh, I will make a statement and I want you to understand. You see, what happens is that 10 years from now, the industry won't need engineers or architects or, managers or whatever. The industry will need designers. Designers are people who have the relevant skill set of that industry to solve a basic problem, and any problem for that matter. Okay, and if they don't have that skill set, they have this ability to develop that skill set within a short period of time and then solve a problem. So I will give you an example. Maybe this is a very controversial statement for you, or you will start thinking in terms of, will my degree be valid in the next 10 years or not? Of course it will be valid. Your education will always be valid. The problem is that if you do not have the relevant skill set with your education, then there will be a problem for you. And you just don't need the skill set for your field, you need the skill set for most fields that are related to your business that you are working in. For example, I am a graduate in civil engineering. I did my master's in building engineering. Now, building engineering is because I wanted to work in buildings. I did a master's in building engineering. Building engineering entails structural engineering, facade engineering, HVAC design, services design, plumbing, electrical design, uh, execution, PMC, everything. And I do everything. And on top of that, I also post I also market my company on Instagram. I also do talks like this. I mean 24/7 I'm kind of busy. But you have to do that because you started the business, now the business owns you. You don't own the business. And that is why now the business commands me to do this and I'm doing this. So this is how it works. So some of the salient features that I've told you, some of the things that you would like to, I mean, you should remember from this presentation is that you are the 1% and the economy expects you to create jobs. So you should seek jobs after you graduate, but for a period of time, you should seek jobs. And in that period of time, you should always be thinking, you should always have that mindset that, okay, where am I? What am I learning? And how is this applicable to the next phase of my career in which I will start a business? All right. So this is a very important thing. The next thing is that, of course, your education is important, but you should always update and upgrade your skills. If you have to do a master's degree for that, fine. If you don't have to, if you have to do a diploma for that, fine. If you have to do a PhD for that, fine. It does not matter. Your skills matter in this economy. And I mean, 10, 20 years from now, it is going to be very, I mean, it's going to be scary. So you have to start preparing for today. Um, so this is the second point. And of course, the third point is that, if the society puts you down, don't let it put you down. I mean, uh, make a change in your way, in your lifestyle, and keep going ahead. And maybe, hopefully, you will be part of this society. And a lot of us with the same mindset, with the same business minded entrepreneurial, thinking, maybe we will change the mindset of this society. Okay. And of course, always remember, once you start a business, you don't own the business owns you. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Kushagra. It
Thank you,
was
sir.
a wonderful session from the entrepreneurship point of view. One of the students have asked that the government can generate jobs by investing low skill manufacturing industry. So how do we think about this?
The government is presently investing in the skill um, developing industry. Let's say, I mean, there are a lot of avenue when you start focusing on the field that you want to develop your skill in. You will start understanding that there are many portals that are actually run by the government or helped by the government in developing skills that you need. For example, there are many information technology centers that give you O-level certificates in web designing, artificial intelligence, I mean, these things. I know about my field. There are multiple agencies that are actually helping new students into developing skills in HVAC design, building design, facade design, structural engineering, stuff like that. So also there is a budding field, which, I mean, there are social entrepreneurs who are basically developing these modules. If you start I mean, let's say, for example, you start a startup in which it is an education based startup. basically which gives you professional training or educational training in institutions and in corporates. So there are portals run by the government which can help you financially. So these are the fields in which the government actually is investing heavily, because they understand that there has come a gap between what you're learning in school and then what you're doing in the actual environment.
Okay, okay. So thank you. I
Thank
think
you, sir.
that's all. Aniket have asked your views on fintech startups. Aniket Jha
Mm,
have financial technology companies,
mm.
startups. What are your views on that?
I don't know anything about financial technology startups. I'm still learning. I started investing in stocks, and I'm kind of learning in about finances now. I mean, of course, one of the drawbacks of our education system is that we don't actually learn much about money when we are studying.
Hmm.
So also the important thing is we don't learn about money, and we don't recognize the importance of savings in our life when we are in school and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm still working on that. I don't know much about financial startups, uh,
Okay.
but good luck with that.
Vibhor have asked the last question we will take now. Vibhor have asked that how do we prepare ourselves in college for entrepreneurs to
Like I
become an
said,
entrepreneur?
like I said, what what happens is that, I mean, there is a 1% chance that uh, people uh, who are good at something, when they pursue that, they get happiness out of that. 99% of us are programmed that way, that if we're doing something that we are good at, we derive happiness from that. 1% are exceptions. Let's leave that away. But what happens is, what you have to do is, while you're studying, you have to understand which subject you're good at, and which subject you're exceptional at, and try to make those two subjects or those two courses your understanding, your strength. Get into that field, try to develop more skills related to those subjects, and try to find a good job in that sector. That should be ideally your aim. That should be how you are going to see yourself in the next, let's say, 5 years. And then over a period of time, when you start working, you will, and if you have that mindset, if you start practicing this mindset for the next 5 years, eventually you will meet like-minded people, and you will understand that this is a field and I can start a business in this, right? But the first step definitely is to find what your strengths are, what you are good at, and what you like to do. That would be the starting point, I would say.
Okay, that's great. That's great, Kushagra. It was wonderful to have you here,
Thank you,
and
sir.
it's a very informative session. From the entrepreneurship point of view, we have come to know that what are the risks to be associated with the entrepreneurship, and how do we prepare ourselves to become an entrepreneur. So, on behalf of JUT Guna, I extend a really thank you for sparing time with us from your busiest schedule to grace the occasion. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely encourage our students for the future
Okay.
events.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you for the
Kushal. Thank you so
opportunity. Yeah.
much. Yes, thank you, students, to being here for attending the alumni sessions. Stay connected, stay tuned, and we will meet you in the college. Thank you. Thank you so much.